cut this piece for the top. This is red oak, it's ply. So I need to cut out a section for the neck first so I can slide it up into position, and then from there I can make some cuts and then eventually route it down to the right size. I've got 54 wide here at the neck, which is where the body and this side meets. I've got 56 wide here at the neck where the other side of the body meets, and here's where the base of the neck is, which actually measures 56 mils anyway, so it's actually not changing much. Okay, so I cut this out on the bandsaw, and I cut this bit here out on the jigsaw because I can't get the angle across with the bandsaw. I kept these bits here because I've got to round them off, so I'm going to just round those off and then we'll test fit and see if we can fit. At the moment it looks like it's stopping about there, so I haven't made it wide enough, which is good. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted it to be too narrow and then just sand it gradually wider and wider because I want to get a snug fit. Right now I'm just going to be using this little round file to get these rounded, try and approximately match what I've got on the fretboard. Just to give you a bit of an idea of what I'm doing, that's sort of part way through. I'll come back when I've sort of finished it, but to give you an idea. I've been filing and sanding these edges to try and get it to fit. Had a bit of drama here with some chip out, which looks terrible, and it's not quite the right angle here at the moment too. So that's going to look wonky. I'm probably just going to leave it. I don't know, we'll see how we make it fit. Still not wide enough. I'm having trouble getting the width. What I'm going to do is cut this piece off because I don't need it, and cut that piece off so I've got less to sand and less to fit, and I'll have a better idea what I'm looking at, where I need to concentrate on, save a bit of time. Alright, so that just gives me less fitting work to do. I'm still too big, so I need to get those sides down. So see how we go. So it's far from perfection, but it's starting to fit. So if I put it on here now, if I push the sides down, it starts to sort of go on now. So now we're getting a reasonable fit. And it's got to go down a fair bit further. For some reason it doesn't want to go down at the moment. Let's go down a bit. Mistake number 1695. So yes, I pushed it down and got it to fit. I did a little bit more sanding and tried to sand this, where's my finger here? Sand this down a little bit so the gap wasn't as big on that side. It's a little bit better. But the reason this is mistake number 1000 and whatever is this. So I don't know whether I'm dyslexic or what it is, but I cut to the line I drew, but the original line I drew, I think it was wrong, and I redrew another line, but for some reason when I was cutting it I thought this was the wrong line and this was the line I redrew. So the only trouble is, I know what you're saying, you can just cut it further down and move the whole thing up. But because the neck tapers and it's narrower up here than it is down here, that means that if I shift it up, it'll be, this wider part will move up to here and it'll leave a gap up here. So I'm gonna have to think about this one because now I'm angry. I don't think very well, I'm angry. I'm just hoping the masking tape will just stop the chipping out this time. It looks like it might have worked. Okay, maybe it worked. Yay! Probably a little bit better at the base of the neck, but it's a little bit out on the sides now. So you can see there's sort of gaps. Although it only come up to there, so there'll be a little bit of a gap on this side. Oh, sorry, it'll only come up to about here. There'll be a little bit of a gap on this side, and there's a bit of a gap there, but actually it only comes up to about here on this side. It looks like it was a very thin veneer over something else. So I'm pretty sure that sticker said it's red oak with the poplar core. Now, because I saw what I thought was 3 layers in this thing, I thought the thick one was the red oak, and then there's a bit of poplar and a little more red oak. But it looks like it's micro thin red oak, poplar, micro red oak. I think that might be what it is. So this stuff is not designed to be sanded at all from the look of it. And you can see the red dye in it now. It's just been like swathed all over it. Anyway, I'm kind of committed to sand this now anyway, just to see what happens. As you can see, it's awful. Yeah, what is it? I don't know. You can see the red dye just on it, and it's pink dye. Anyway, I would recommend this plywood to anybody that I don't like. Yeah, I'm going to sand some more off. I'm using the other side anyway. I just need to get the thickness down a bit, which is why I started sanding this side. But I'm glad I did, because I would have given the other side a sand before staining. And yeah, so do I just sand it down, get the right thickness, and just plonk it on and leave it just for the build? Maybe that's what I do. I don't know. It's annoying. Well, I'm about 0.5 millimetre down, still 6.5 millimetres thick, and I've got off most of what looked to be a layer of glue. I still have a bit of the glue stuff on here, but now I've got this timber coming through, which looks like maybe it is the poplar. It's actually not unattractive, it looks okay, but this isn't the side I'm going to use. I assume this is on the other side, so it may be worth just sanding that entire red oak layer off just to get to this. I'm losing the light, it's getting dark. So I thought I'd just hit it with, because that was the 40 grit I was using, I thought I'd just hit it with the 120 just to smooth it out. But that's what the timber looks like underneath. It's actually, you know, like, apart from, unfortunately the grain's running the wrong way, but I guess just for this temporary build it doesn't really matter. It is this side I'm going to use, but I'm thinking I'll sand this side down and hopefully it looks similar to that. If it looks like, so you might remember I tried that bit of glue with sawdust in here to fill in that join where they've joined the two pieces. It's a pretty wide gap. There it is. Line still stands out. The colouring of it probably, with sawdust, probably wasn't worth it in this case. We'll see though. If it takes stain, then that'll be great, but I don't think it will. Being that this guitar is all about Skeggs, which you can't see the Skeggs here much at the moment, but I thought I'd put a couple of Skeggs on there. I drew this one by pencil the other night. I've just photocopied it and stuck the other one on there, and I'll cut those. I'm going to cut those out and semi-hollow, so we'll use that. I don't want to use an F shape because, you know, like, I think a couple of people have done guitars in the past with F shapes, and yeah,
I thought I might do something slightly different. I've got a BSK here, blade sharp knife. So I'm not sure if I should make the handle a little bit longer, because the axe head itself does look a little bit big. I might go slightly longer. Anyway, let's start doing it. Yeah, we'll just go about that much longer. We'll keep it fairly thick. I think it looks better pretty thick as well. Oh, there you go. It's standing out a bit there now. Huh, okay. Shape, okay, so I think you can see that pretty well. If I put my hand there, it'll focus, yeah. So, you know, we'll see. I'm going to keep digging this because it's going to take too long for you to watch, I think. So, I'm up to this stage here. So we've gotten through the top layer, we've got to another layer which I think is crossing the other way. It's going all right at this stage. I'm not really unhappy or anything like that. It's going okay. But the chisel is simply too big, so I either need some woodwork craft tools, or I'm thinking I might try my rotary tool and see if I can use it to and actually just route it out from here now that I've got a shape. I might give it a go. This is a test after all, and I'm not only learning how to make a guitar but also learning how to use some of these tools. So I might just try it out and see how it goes. That actually went better than I thought. So we managed to get a fair bit out and get sort of, you know, follow the lines a bit. It's getting a bit too big now to go down here. And on the positive side, it is kind of cutting it. Sorry, I'll pull back. But it's also burning the timber. So I just sort of need to get into the corners now.
And I'm going to try using a hacksaw blade to do that. So we'll see how that turns out. The actual burning around the outside actually kind of has a nice effect. Maybe I should actually stain it like with a bit of brown around the edges before I do the rest of the staining on the timber. Or maybe I should just get a match and actually burn up the rest of it as well, because where I've used a file I've got some of the burns being removed. Anyway, we got into the camera work. I got into the corners and stuff, so it looks a bit better. That edge is a little bit rough. I need to work on that a bit more. It's a bit too sudden to change that, but let's go. Okay, I think it's not bad.
Ta-da! What's the difference between my guitar and the House of Parliament? My guitar has the pricks on the outside.
Hi. So the gluing on of the top was successful. It went on really well actually. I'm just going to cut it out because obviously it's all sticking over the edges. So it's going to cut out as close as I sort of can reasonably. This blade doesn't really allow for much movement, so I'm still going to have to leave a fair bit off, which I'll then route off. But I have sticky taped a couple of bits of plywood to get this up to about the same height as the neck, because the neck's sticking up a fair way now, so that I can have it this way down when I cut it. I don't want to cut it this way in case I cut into the body and I won't be able to see, so I need to see the body. So this way I'll be able to sort of slide it around without having to have it on an angle or putting too much pressure on the neck. I've also taped up the neck just so they're fretboard so I don't scuff it too much on here. Okay, used the Lucius trick to secure the guitar to my tabletop. I set my router up so that the ball bearing is running on the base here. The base doesn't have any chip out on it. So, a bit more masking tape on there. I've left the masking tape on near the neck because I can't get in there. It's too close to the neck, the router's too big because I'm hitting the side parts of the neck here with the router, and so I can't get past sort of here, actually here even. So there's a fair bit there to cut off. It's going to take me ages to do it with a saw and files and stuff. So I think what I might do is put something here to raise the height here, just so I can get in there and route at least part of it. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to film myself actually doing it because you're not going to be able to see anything anyway because the router's going to be in the way, but I've taped this bit of timber on here, so I'll just turn this around so I can see the camera. Yeah. So I've taped this on here, a bit of ply, which brings it up to around about the same height as the neck. The same height on the edge anyway, not in the middle though. But at least that'll keep it reasonably flat so that I can put it here. I don't know, you probably can't see the router bit, but I can then now work it in here. So that was somewhat successful. So I've done the same thing on the other side now with the block there, and we'll try the other side of the neck there. I do hope this only got on the tape and didn't go anywhere else. Cool. Alright. Okay, so I think it's actually starting to look like a guitar. There we go. Yeah, we're getting there. So I'm really happy. I haven't noticed yet anyway. I can't see any chip out. Looks like it went really well. It's a bit bumpy just here because I actually had a knot there. And like I was using this part as my guide to avoid these little knots that appear in this really soft timber up here, these little chip outs. But I had to move the wheel up to here to do this part to get in here, and I've obviously gone over that and it's made it bumpy, but I can just, you know, file that and sand it and it'll be fine. It's not a big deal. It saved a lot of the hard work for me around here. I can just do a bit of filing, but I didn't hit the neck on either side, which is great. Obviously I have plenty more sanding to do and all that, but really happy with how that went. Thank you for tuning into CheapSkate for episode 9 of our Skeggs prototype guitar build. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, subscribe to CheapSkate.